everyone, welcome back to Beauty Within. It's your two hosts, Rowena and Felicia. And today we're here to talk about a topic that seems to be ever confusing no matter how many videos, articles, and products that we try and buy, and it's chemical exfoliants, otherwise known as AHA, BHA, PHA. Aha baha pa. When something's really funny. Because both Ro and I use chemical exfoliating products for slightly different purposes. Like for her, it's for the brightening and evening out skin tone with the freckling.
And my pores.
Yes, the nose area. Butterfly! For her dry and like dehydrated skin, while I use it for my acne, preventing breakouts and hyperpigmentation and acne marks for my oilier combination skin. So chemical exfoliants really do suit all different skin types. It just depends on like the formulation.
For this episode, we want to thank Naturium for sponsoring a portion of it to share with you some of their new launches. And if you haven't subscribed to our Beauty Within fam, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to hit the notification bell and let's get into chemical exfoliants.
All right, so before we go into the products and how they work and how we like to incorporate it, let's recap over a little bit about what chemical exfoliants actually do and how they work on our skin.
Chemical exfoliants like AHA, BHA, and PHA are acids derived from fruit or plant extracts.
So when you see things like papaya enzyme, pumpkin, or pomegranate, and a slew of other ones, these are actually forms of gentle chemical exfoliants. But more on this later. Ding, ding, ding.
When applied to our skin, the main benefits is that it helps to unstick the gluey substance that holds our skin cells together on the epidermis layer of our skin.
So what it does is help break down the excess buildup of dead skin cells on the surface to unclog pores and help keep the skin looking healthy and bright. And if you have acne and breakouts like moi, this is something that you definitely want to look for to help with preventing future breakouts, because as we know, a lot of acne and breakouts is caused from dead skin sebum and bacteria that's trapped in the pores and in need of some chemical exfoliants to really help break free.
Another main benefit has to do with our skin's process of cell turnover. Day by day, our basal cell layer at the bottom of the epidermis is producing new skin cells, which then eventually gets pushed towards the top of the epidermis layer, which then means the skin on the very tippy top is getting shed, fluttering off into the wind and literally covering every single surface and turning into dust. You know, growing up, when there's like a ray of sunlight, you see, you're like, oh, it's so cool.
And it's like,
and I never would have been like, oh, that's skin.
But before it flies away, this layer of skin is really important because it acts as a shield to protect us against things like UV damage, bacteria, dust, and other potentially harmful environmental factors.
Depending on your age, this process can take anywhere between 14 to 45 days, with younger folks having faster rates of cell turnover and older people having slower rates.
When you decide to use things that contain chemical exfoliants, you're essentially helping to speed up that cell renewal rate, which can quicken up the cell replacement process and then leave you with smoother and brighter skin.
Here are 3 types of exfoliants you can commonly find across every step of your skincare routine. Let's start with AHA.
AHA! Okay. This is a little group of AHAs.
Oh.
So AHA stand for alpha hydroxy acids, and they are water soluble, which means that they'll work on the surface layer of the skin and stay away from oil-based areas like the lining of hair follicles and deep within our pores, which we'll get into later because that goes into BHA.
Here's a breakdown of the types of AHAs you can find in your products. The first one is glycolic acid. It is one of the more popular AHAs in the skincare world, and for good reason too. It's highly effective and super potent. Glycolic acid is derived from sugar canes. It actually has the smallest molecular size compared to the other AHAs, which means it's able to penetrate deeper into the skin and work its magic.
But for people who aren't used to glycolic acid, it's possible to find it slightly irritating, specifically for that reason, because it is traveling deeper down. Yeah, that's why you'll find they say nothing more than like 10% should be used at home, because you can go to the spa and get like a 20% peel, right? But leave that to the professionals.
Next, we have lactic acid. It is derived from sour milk, but it is far gentler alternative and well sought after by people with sensitive skin as it has a larger molecular size than glycolic.
That is true because the very first chemical exfoliating product I got was from The Ordinary and it was their lactic acid. Wow, memories! So lactic acid can even help retain some of the moisture in our skin due to its having humectant properties, protect against harmful bacteria due to its antimicrobial properties, and also reduce hyperpigmentation.
Next, we have Mandelic acid, one of your favorite toners.
It is so underrated.
Yes. So this acid is also a popular exfoliant found especially in Asian beauty products derived from bitter almonds. Mandelic acid is rich in antioxidants and has antibacterial properties that can benefit especially oily and acne-prone skin types.
This is why, yes, this is why I have a lot to say about some Mandelic acid products. And then we have malic acid, and this acid is found in many fruits and veggies again, but it's commonly associated with apples. An apple a day keeps the pimples away. And if you've seen products incorporating apple cider vinegar to brighten the skin and tighten the appearance of pores, malic acid is the reason why. Kind of like the Glow Recipe mist that's got apple cider vinegar. And stay with us, guys. Now we have a citric acid. And as the name suggests, citric acid is derived from citrus fruits, and it's commonly used in conjunction, again, with other exfoliants to help brighten up the skin tone.
Usually, citric acid helps regulate pH levels in your product and can also act as a preservative.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you squeeze a lemon onto an apple to stop it from oxidizing.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, science!
Then we have tartaric acid, and this one is derived from grapes and is rich in antioxidants. You know, you think of quarterly, that's grapes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And currently it's not as widely researched as maybe something like glycolic acid and lactic acids, but it's found that tartaric acid can help to also moisturize the skin and promote healing. Okay, so now moving on to some recommendations. Like, there are so many, guys. So Ru, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Ren, because that's an oldie but a goodie.
An oldie, but a very good. This is a pretty big bottle. I think this is the only chemical exfoliating product that I've finished. This is my second bottle.
Yeah, you used to go through that like...
I used to use it day and night.
Yeah. And the lactic acid Sunday Riley.
Oh my God, and Sunday Riley. And Drunk Elephant.
Yes. Those were like her
used to
top
be
3.
crazy. Wow, what a life. So this Ready Steady Glow Daily AHA Tonic is gentle enough for you to use every single day. And I do find that on days that I use this, it does help you with that glow. Like the very even lit from within glow.
I remember the very first time I used this one, it did sting a little.
It does, but it goes away like within a few seconds. Yeah. So in this toner, there's 3 acids. There's lactic acid, which is like the shining child.
Yes.
And then it's complemented with azelaic acid and salicylic acid, which is a BHA that we'll get into in a little bit.
And I think the reason why this is an everyday toner is because of the fact that it's using lactic acid over glycolic, which would be kind of scary to be using every day.
Yeah. So the concoction of this with the BHA and the azelaic acid does really help with controlling your sebum and the pore size to help minimize the appearance of your pore size. I think that's one of the main reasons why I like it. The brightening and also the help of...
Yes. I think that's the reason why both of us really enjoy this toner for such a long time. All right, so moving on, we have a full-on AHA. This is the Ordinary Glycolic Acid 7%. This one also is very easy to use. It's not overly stripping because I've used the Peter Thomas Roth Glycolic Acid, and that one definitely like stung, you know, or the Bliss peel pads, although very effective. You know, you wake up the next day and you're like, wow, but that's not for everyday use. These two, I feel like are definitely easier to incorporate every day, but I would only use this at night. I like using stronger chemical exfoliants at night to rejuvenate and restore. So in this one, it also contains a little bit of damask rose flower water, a little bit of aloe leaf water to soothe and calm, and also some ginseng root and Tasmania pepperberry, which we've seen in products like Go-To.
I remember you mentioned this in one of our like really early videos. And I was like, what a pretty bottle, what a pretty color.
It is, right? And it's an interesting nozzle.
It is.
So that's that one.
For our last toner, we have Krave Beauty's Kale-Lalu-yAHA. So in here, there's a glycolic acid. It has 5.25%. So it is low enough as a good starting type of chemical exfoliant in like a toner form. But for this specific one, you use maybe 2 to 3 times max a week.
Because it is a resurfacing toner.
And it does leave my skin very glowy when I wake up in the morning. So now moving on to one of the more underrated chemical exfoliants, which is mandelic acid, your favorite child of all of the chemical exfoliants. So right here we have 2. We have the Naturium's Mandelic Topical Acid 12% and the Dr.Wu Mandelic Acid 18%. So let's start with the Naturium.
This is their new baby, and this formulation includes another love of my life, which is niacinamide. And if I backtrack a little, the reason why I like mandelic acid is because it's so gentle.
Because when you think of 12% and when you think of 18%,
it's high up there, right? Yeah, but I think with mandelic acid, because it is such a gentle chemical exfoliant, you will see the numbers like formulated around there. Like for example, the Dr.Wu is 18%, right? And when I used that for the first time, when you brought it back from Taiwan, like I didn't experience anything. It was just like straight up clarity.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So this one I feel like is great for hyperpigmentation, for acne marks, for just evening out your skin texture. And my texture usually comes around the nose. I don't know why. But the consistency of this one, and you'll find because these 2 are serums, not the toners, that it is so lightweight.
It's so light.
It just absorbs in. And it leaves like nothing oily. It's just completely like, and I feel like you could even skip your toning step because it almost gives the same like feeling of hydration.
So on top of the 12% mandelic and the niacinamide, there's also bilberry fruit extract, which helps to strengthen the skin while calming redness and boosting defenses against UVA rays. There's also hyaluronic acid, which really helps hydrate the skin, as well as orange fruit and lemon fruit extract, both rich in antioxidants and may help with exfoliation.
Now then there's the Dr.Wu Intensive Renewal Serum with 18% mandelic acid. This was the first product that I ever used with mandelic acid, and it was surprising because once again, it was so lightweight that the consistency was like a toner. So this one, I feel like the formulation, it also contains beta-glucan, which is really good for its moisturizing qualities. But this to me is a more simplified formulation because it doesn't combine like the superstar ingredient like niacinamide, and it also doesn't contain the citrus extract. So when you're looking at 2 different products, that's kind of what you're determining which one you prefer, right? Sometimes you want a concoction of different ingredients that work synergistically, or you want something a little bit more simple, where this is just kind of like the purified mandelic acid at a little bit of a higher percentage, but still very great for sensitive skin types. Okay, so that is HA. Now moving on to BHA.
BHAs, or beta-hydroxy acids, are oil-soluble acids that can reach into the oiliest part of our skin, like our hair follicles and pores. In there, the acids are able to soak up excess buildup of sebum and oils from within the pore that will otherwise clog up and become a pimple we all know and love.
Yeah, love it.
They're also known for calming down inflammation and minimizing the appearance of enlarged pores.
Tick! And here's what you can find under the BHA category. There's salicylic acid, which is a very common ingredient that you'll find across many products, from your cleansers to toners, serums, moisturizers. They're basically in every type of product, and especially BHA like spot treatments.
The great thing about salicylic acid we found is that it's able to decrease the secretion of sebum in people with acne-prone skin, which can help lead to less breakouts overall.
And it's also a great anti-inflammatory and can also help people who are facing things like open and closed comedones, PIE, hyperpigmentation. So there's a lot of great benefits for salicylic acid.
Here are some derivatives of BHA. There's willow bark, which is known as Salix alba, wintergreen leaves, and sweet birch bark extract.
Yeah.
Birch bark.
You'll always see them in the back of the ingredients. Say that 5 times. Another derivative you might commonly see is betaine salicylate, and this is derived from sugar beets and is considered the alternative to salicylic acid, especially in countries where salicylic acid is banned or restricted. Probably the European Union, right? Boom, boom.
Sugar beets.
sugary.
Another derivative is lipohydroxy acid. Like its distinct and famous cousin, lipohydroxy acid also has exfoliating and acne treating properties. It also has a large molecular size, which indicates it can be beneficial for sensitive skin types.
Ding. All right, so moving on to some product recommendations, probably one of my favorite sections. Bing!
So this is the Beauty Pie's Oxygen Instant Facial Refueling Mask with active oxygen, not dormant, active, and salicylic acid. So in here, there's retinol palmitate, which is a stable and gentle vitamin A derivative that can help improve pigmentation and skin texture. And of course, there's also salicylic acid, and the oxygen comes from the hydrogen peroxide. This mask can be used in a few different ways. You can put it on your skin for 15-20 minutes to give you like a more of like an instant boost of hydration and like gentle exfoliation, or you can leave it on overnight for like a very deep moisturizing like treatment. So if you were to use this as a mask, you would put it on, wash it off, and then put on moisturizer. If you were to use this as an overnight treatment, how I like to use this, I like to put it over my moisturizer.
Oh.
So there's like a little extra barrier.
Buffer.
Yeah, especially because I don't use vitamin A's that often or like at all.
Off a 10.
Off with 10.
Just the thought of vitamin A.
Off with 10. I cannot speak.
I was just gonna say, this sounds like an awesome mask.
It does.
Wow.
You can take it home.
I wanna try that. Okay, so I'll now move on to the BHA toners. Like, there's BHA in literally everything, as we said, right? But I just find that for like acne, if you're gonna be using it for acne, toner or the leave-on topicals is where it's at, or like where I find the most joy. Yeah, so I mean, the cult favorite that's been around for a while and probably put Paula's choice on the map is the 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. It's called a liquid exfoliant because you can use a toner and then follow up with this and then your serum or moisturizer afterwards. But I actually just go straight into it after cleansing when I feel really like congested. It's also got green tea, it's got the camellia leaf extract, and the salicylic acid is the third ingredient. All of the other ingredients, which only is like less than 10 in here, is for hydration to really counteract any drying. So that one's really great. So then we have the Naturium, which also has the 2% BHA similar to the other toners, but there are different ingredients in this. So this one has fruit acids, including from my hometown down under, the caviar or the finger lime, which is great in cooking as well. But citrus, when formulated, can really help with brightening. And what makes this one maybe a little easier to use, especially for people with more sensitive skin, is that they encapsulated the salicylic acid. So anything to do with encapsulation just makes the delivery to the skin a little more gentle because of the way that it releases the ingredient, right? Rather than being like, slow release. Imagine bubbles are just like being slowly popped on your skin. You don't even have to have like breakouts, like you can even use it.
Yeah, I've used both and they work beautifully.
And a tip you can do, like Rowena, if you have dry skin but you have like porous T-zones, what you can do is actually get a cotton pad, soak the cotton pad and just like leave it over.
Yeah.
As a DIY mask.
Yeah.
And it will help unstick, unclog, and also just balance out that area. So
without drying out the rest of your face.
And Muji has those great pads where you just like,
oh yes.
And then I think we have the most gentle of the bunch, and that's the Farmacy Deep Sweep, also 2% BHA, but it contains natural chemical exfoliating enzymes, including moringa and the papaya. So if you have super, super sensitive skin, but you still wanna like enjoy the benefits of BHA, I feel like this one is a great option, but I don't feel like it's as effective as these two. So if you're maybe like super oily and you're looking for something to help balance that, but you're not like really prone to breakouts, then this is kind of a nice, gentle 2% BHA toner.
Lastly, there's PHAs, or polyhydroxy acids, which are considered the next generation of AHAs. And like AHAs, PHAs work on exfoliating the uppermost layer of skin to smooth out skin texture. But unlike AHAs, PHAs have larger molecular sizes, which makes them even gentler and a wonderful alternative, especially for those who can't tolerate regular AHAs. This includes dry, sensitive, and even eczema and rosacea skin.
And PHA was kind of a new one.
A new click on the new kid on the back. So here's some PHA products.
You probably won't be able to find them as abundantly as the other ones because they're not marketed usually as PHA, but actually the Naturium one stands alone. PHA topical acid 12%. We also have the Purito ABP. Triple Energy, which also contains all three. And then we have the Beauty Bay. This is the AHA and PHA. So starting off with this one because it is so interesting that the name is PHA. And the reason why I think they named it PHA is because it contains the two types of PHA, which is known as gluconolactone as well as lactobionic acid. It also contains mandelic acid. So I think the formulation of this one is predominantly designed for people with easily irritated and sensitive skin. And it's also got the hydrating qualities with hyaluronic acid.
So the texture of this is very similar to the Mandelic because these are more like chemical exfoliating treatments as opposed to actual serums. So Naturium serums that we've used, the vitamin C or the niacinamide, those are generally a bit goopier. These are both a little bit more watery.
So what I like to do with these, because it is that kind of booster, you can use it like after a soothing toner and then follow on with this as your serum step and then just move straight on to moisturizer, which is how I normally do it. Now moving on to the Purito.
So this is Purito's Triple Synergy Liquid. I still remember we giggled at the name when we talked about it. It has 80% apple fruit water, so it is high in antioxidants and it is very soothing and calming. For something like Purito and CosRX, I feel like they're not gonna be life-changing.
Yeah.
They're not like an instant booster. It's not gonna be like the Sunday Riley lactic acid because the concentration's not that big. But I feel like this is, the more you use it, it's like prolonged benefits.
Yeah, it is very gentle.
It's very gentle.
Okay, and then another two examples that I really love is the Beauty Bay. It's got AHA, PHA. So once again, really easy to incorporate into your routine. Great again for like beginners who want to dabble into the chemical exfoliating world, as well as the Glow Recipe Toner, which is the like viscousy cactus water toner that we hadn't really experienced with many other products.
It's very hydrating.
Yeah, and it's designed for pore tightening because of the BHA, but it's also got PHA. So this one has AHA PHA, this is BHA PHA. So you just kind of like decide which one you want. I feel like this is better for like evening skin tone, brightening the skin, and then this one is great for just pore concentration.
Overall, like a subtle glow.
Yeah, especially if you have oily skin because of the BHA.
And then there's the Peach and Lily's Super Reboot Resurfacing Mask that she loved and she got me to try, and now I love this more than the Herbivore.
Oh my God, for sure. At least this doesn't like turn decrepit in like 2 weeks. But we also really love it because the way that Alicia formulated it.
Yes, you know, she had eczema.
Eczema.
And she could never find products on the market that she could use that had glycolic acid, especially in a mask form. So she's like, I'm gonna make it myself.
Yeah. And it really does just give you the most supple glow after using
That's like, it's like a reset button right there.
Every week, I think for like 3 weeks I did it and I was like, this is amazing.
You forgot your Sun by Me.
Oh my God, my Sun by Me. Yeah. So Sun by Me has the toner as well as the serum. The toner highlights the niacinamide, but the serum highlights the centella, and it's got all three as well. I don't think you can go wrong. This is the biphase.
Just make sure you shake it before you use it.
Shake it. Yes, like otherwise you won't get
Just
the
read the
benefits.
instructions.
And we also sell that on our store because we love Sun by Me. Those are very effective. I wouldn't say like, you know, bet your bottoms on the 30-day aspect of it because nothing is a miracle, but it is definitely effective and it's very soothing. Ding! Ding! So that's chemical exfoliating. Hope it makes a little more sense. There is no right or wrong to it. It's really about like understanding one, the potency, what the ingredients are designed to do, and then looking at the kind of like supporting ingredients and seeing if you want to try that.
And then especially with chemical exfoliants, even if it's something that you could be used daily, you should try to use it maybe once a week first if you just are getting into it, and then building up from there. Because I think it's always better to start slowly and get there eventually than like start there and then try to come back, but by then it's hard to come back.
Yes, and then you're creating self-made problems.
Yeah, especially if you like aggravate your skin barrier, or if you like do something to it, it's like it's gonna take longer to repair that than it is to slowly build up your tolerance to chemical exfoliants.
And then just like extension of that, like if you're gonna try these, just hold back on vitamin C's and vitamin A, just so you can really tell how these are working before you start integrating other active ingredients.
So with that, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you again to Naturium for sponsoring a portion of this video. We'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, here are some videos to watch. And
here.
Comment below with what you want to see more of.
Bye guys!
Goodbye, rainbow. Oh God.
I can't do that or lift my arms that far because I don't.